guys, welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be starting the first video of a new series called the Knot and Shell series. So in this video today I'm going to be just knotting a bracelet, and I'm also going to be just talking about how to stay motivated when you're doing bracelets, because I know a very common thing between people in the bracelet community is basically just having trouble staying motivated. So I've gone through a couple of bracelet slumps in the past, and I'm going to just share some knowledge with you guys on how to stay motivated and not get into as many bracelet slumps. So this video is pretty much just like a regular live stream, but I'm not live streaming obviously because I do not have enough subscribers yet to do a live stream. If I do get enough, then I will be live streaming potentially. But for right now, I'm just going to be doing this really relaxing knotting and chilling session and just basically answering a big question that the bracelet community has on how to stay motivated. So the first tip I have is to find someone who really motivates you. I do have a couple of people I am motivated by, so if you guys do know her, she is Claire on Braceletbook. I have mentioned her a couple of times. She is amazing at bracelets, and my goal is to become as good as her in my alphas because I feel like her knots are just perfect and her color switching is perfect, and I really want to get to be to her level in terms of alphas. And yeah, so just pick, a person to, or a couple of people to look at, like their bracelets. So for example, I just go on Braceletbook. I can also scan through some of the pictures of people's bracelets in the photo section to get inspiration to make a new bracelet. And yeah, that's my first tip. And then my second tip right here is basically to watch YouTube, because I know when Masha Knots first became a YouTuber, I was already doing bracelets by then because I've been doing bracelets for a long time, even before Masha Knots became a YouTuber. And when she first became a YouTuber, I found her super inspiring, and I watched a bunch of her videos and I got really inspired. So definitely watching YouTube and also scrolling through social media and looking at photos can really help you, and that's what really works for me. And another tip to get motivated is basically I listen to music while I make bracelets. So I like to listen to classical music because I am really used to it, because I do play piano and I play a lot of classical music on the piano, and that really helps me a lot too, to just get motivated and cut some strings and knot. Also watching movies, TV shows, maybe YouTube while knotting is also a good strategy to use when you're trying to get motivated to make bracelets, because it's really relaxing and you're kind of distracted, and at the same time you're doing something fun with your hands. And I don't know, I just find it really fun to watch YouTube or watch TV while I'm making bracelets. Another thing that would be really motivating is just scrolling through Braceletbook and looking at patterns, because you could find things that you really love, because there are over 200,000 patterns on Braceletbook, and I find that really insane. So there are a lot of patterns that could match your interests. Like for example, if you like baseball, you could make a baseball pattern, because I know there are a lot of baseball patterns, and you could make a 1-2-1-2 normal pattern for baseballs. You could make an alpha pattern. You could also cross stitch or do other crafts while you're watching TV. And also scrolling through Braceletbook to find cool patterns, like alpha patterns that you can also cross stitch and embroider and everything. So it's pretty cool. I think Braceletbook is not just useful for bracelets, it is also useful for a lot of other crafts that use patterns that are like alpha patterns, like cross stitching and embroidering, as I've mentioned earlier, and I think it's pretty cool. So I'm getting to this point in this bracelet when I'm just finishing up the triangle ends. I'm on my very last row when I am separating all of the strings individually and not having to knot onto any bundles anymore, which is pretty, I guess, far for actually talking. I didn't know I'd be able to talk this much while I knot, but I don't know, I guess it's easier than I thought it was. And then back to our subject on having to stay motivated. I think another cool place to look is on Pinterest. Like I said, social media earlier, Pinterest, Instagram. I've seen a lot of pictures that are uploaded from Instagram And I've also seen, like I said, Pinterest, Facebook. You could look on crafters Facebook, I guess. And I know there are a lot of other crafting websites. Also, I don't know a lot about this website called friendshipbracelets.net because I don't have an account on there. I've never really been on there before. I've only been on there to look at some patterns because I know a lot of YouTubers use friendshipbracelets.net and they link a lot of their patterns to there. So I find myself just clicking on those links and finding myself at friendshipbracelets.net. And I think it's pretty cool. Although one thing about it that I would find a problem was that the patterns are sort of hard to read because my eyes are not the best. And I don't know, it's just hard to adjust from Braceletbook to Friendship Bracelets because I feel like Braceletbook, the graphics are a lot better and the knots are a lot bigger and easier to see. Maybe just my eyes, but I don't know. I think Braceletbook would be more my thing, probably because I have been on Braceletbook for the longest time. And yeah. And I just realized I might have made a mistake here. I don't know what happened. So I was knotting. I did my last knot on one string here. And then I'm on here. I see 2 strings in one bundle. I don't know if that is an issue because I just knotted on the string in the bundle and now I have 2 more. I am very confused. Anyways, I'm just gonna cheat and I guess force it. Okay, there we go. Anyways, back to our subject. Honestly, describing my past bracelet slumps, I have actually taken a break for years from bracelets. So I started when I was 9 years old, which was a long time ago. So I did start making bracelets when I was 9 years old, and I was actually on a road trip with my family a long time ago when I was first starting to make bracelets. So I've told you guys this story a while back in my, I think, 200 subscriber special. I'm also nearing 300 subscriber special, by the way. But anyways, back to the story. I remember, so I was on a road trip and I was at my uncle's house and he had daughters that were already grown up and they had moved out of the house already, and they had left embroidery floss back at my uncle's house, and he actually gave me that string, and I was really grateful because before that road trip I had a friend who taught me how to make a candy stripe, and I actually used yarn, which looked like, oh my gosh, it looked terrible, and she was, I guess, helping me along the way. I don't know if she had embroidery floss with her, but she taught me how to do that, and I really loved it, like from the moment she showed me how to do a forward knot. And I just decided that I needed string, so I was lucky to find the string that my uncle gave me. And so it was only a little bit of string. So there were these bobbins that only had like string that was wrapped around them once, and then it was over. So there was like maybe half a meter, maybe a little bit more of string on each bobbin, which is not a lot at all because normal skeins, full and complete skeins, would have 8 meters in total for the amount of string in them. So I was sort of surprised, although I didn't know the measures for bracelets. So I did watch a couple of videos, and there weren't a lot of videos back then, to be honest. So I didn't really get that far. But then, yeah, I mean, I just tried to watch videos. And I actually happened to come across Crafting Axe tutorials a long time ago when she first started to do YouTube. I actually watched those tutorials, and it was really helpful because it was like one of the only tutorials out there. And even her tutorials today are really amazing and they help me so much. And I just really love her channel because I first started out watching her videos, and I feel like, I don't know, it just sort of holds a lot of sentimental value to me. And yeah, so that's pretty much how I first started. And then after that, I got bored of bracelets because I ran out of embroidery floss and I just lost the momentum and the motivation to do it. And then I just took a break for maybe half a year to a year, and then I started to get back into them again, and I found more embroidery floss. And yeah, I mean, my mom bought me some at the craft store a year later when I just decided I wanted to do bracelets again, and I worked with that for a bit, watching more tutorials. And yeah. And then I think after I ran out of that string, I didn't get motivated anymore, and I just dropped it again for the next 3 years. And then after that, I found myself with more string because I'd gotten some from Christmas from some family members a while ago, and so I picked it up back again because I had no idea why I stopped. But now I just realized it was because I didn't have any string. It was just frustrating for me. So yeah, I just found that as a reason to quit, which was not a good reason at all. But yeah, so then I found some more string from Christmas, and then I started making bracelets again, and then from so on and so forth, all the way up to this point where I am actually making a YouTube channel and I guess being very prolific with my bracelets. And I think taking a break from crafts also can help fuel your motivation again, because if you're like not motivated anymore to make bracelets, that's sort of a signal to just take a short break. You know, maybe start on another craft or something, because that's what I did in my while when I did not make bracelets for a couple of years. Because I did knitting for a long time, I did cross stitch, and that actually really helped, I guess, bracelets sort of get a fresh start in my brain. But if you like bracelets enough, then definitely continue to do them. And I really love bracelets. It's probably one of my most favorite hobbies I have, because I just find it very creative. There's no limits to anything. You can make anything with any colors you want, as big as you want. There's just no one telling you what to do in bracelets, in just art and crafts. So that's why I find myself really loving bracelets, and I've been in a, I guess, bracelet streak for about a year now, because after I dropped it for 3 years and then got back on bracelets, I of course had a bunch of breaks for a couple more years, and yeah, that's where I am right now, making more bracelets and a huge bracelet streak. So this pattern is turning out pretty nice so far. I love my knots. My triangle S turned out pretty well, I think, in my opinion. And everything's going great here. And yeah, so I feel like I've pretty much just given you guys all of my advice for, I guess, staying motivated. And I guess the next thing I really want to talk about is books. Because I do love books, although I don't read too much because I don't have a lot of time. But yeah, so now I'll, I guess, transfer to the subject of books, because I've just given you guys all of the advice I possibly could hold. And I know I've picked up over the years. And yeah. So what kind of books do you guys read? Do you guys like fantasy? Do you like historical fiction? Do you like just non-fiction? Do you like just fiction books? Sci-fi? I'm pretty sure I'm missing one. Mystery, I guess, romance, and anything. I love all types of books, although the books that really hit the spot for me are fantasy books, as I have mentioned in the past, because I just think they're very magical, and they really, I guess, take me to another level in reading, because I know I've been into fantasy since I was in 3rd grade, which was a long time ago. And I actually started to write a lot about fantasy in 3rd grade. And I remember, I don't know, I think just literature is really special to me. I just love reading. The characters are amazing. I just love how the author can just do so many things, and they have no limits to what they can write. So that's why I still love to write, and I've been writing since a long time. And yeah, so the books that really inspired me to write were The Inheritance Cycle. I have mentioned that, I'm pretty sure, in my 200 subscriber special video, and sort of, I guess, Q&A. It wasn't really a Q&A, but I guess a semi-Q&A. So I did tell you guys about fantasy and The Inheritance Cycle. I also am starting to read the Hobbit series, believe it or not, because I know I haven't already read that. I should have a long time ago, but I kept putting it off, so now I'm reading The Hobbit. I'm on the first book. I'm not very far in, because I started maybe a couple weeks ago. I'm only at like the 50th page because, number one, I am really busy. I don't have a lot of time for reading most of the time. And also, number two, because there are a lot of words on each page, especially in the copy that I have, which shouldn't be an issue, but I guess it's very time consuming to read, and also it's really hard to read. I have to sort of go back several paragraphs because I don't really get what the author is saying because the books are so wordy and I guess very interesting to read, because I know the author Tolkien had gone to school for a long time. He was really advanced in academics and literature, and he knew a lot of really high level words, and I guess it was almost a different language the way he was speaking because it was just so complex, and I honestly love it, but at the same time it makes it harder to read. So I like books that are more subtle with the words and I guess more easier to understand. But yeah. And then I've also tried several other types of books. I'm not really sure what Hunger Games the genre is. I know it's not exactly science fiction. I'm trying to summon the word, but I can't really place it. But yeah, I did read the Hunger Games. It's a great series. I was hooked into that. It took me like 2 weeks to read all 3 books because I was just so into it. I remember just reading all day, every chance I could get, just every crack in time, I would just be reading the Hunger Games. And I did read that series, I think, maybe a year and a half ago, around Christmas time, I think in 2019. So yeah, it was a while ago. And that series was a great series. My favorite character, I have to say, is probably Prim, Katniss's sister. If you guys don't know what the Hunger Games is, you should read it. It's a great series. And then another series I read when I was really, really little in 1st grade. I was a tiny child back then. I did read the Magic Treehouse books. They're very easy to read. They're only 100 pages long and 10 chapters. And there's like at least maybe 200 words on each page, so not that many words on each page. I guess those started my reading when I was that young in 1st grade. And I sort of got more into fantasy and other types of books from there. So I guess that was sort of my root in my reading, I guess, career. I don't think everyone has a reading career, but at least in mine. And then from there, I think, oh yeah, I read The Land of Stories. If you guys don't know that, it's by Chris Colfer, the author. He's a great author. He actually wrote several books after I finished reading that. Yeah, I think it's a great series of books that really inspired me to write more. So I did write a lot of stories in 2nd and 3rd grade about fantasy and, I guess, the similar concept of The Land of Stories. So let me know if you guys' favorite books or movies or just in that area, and what types of, genres you like to read, like to watch, like to listen to. And I just think reading is just a wonderful thing because it's sort of, like I said earlier, it really, I guess, transports you to a different place with your literature and reading and everything. So I just honestly think that it's a great thing to have, a great skill to have. And then soon after I read The Inheritance Cycle, I think it was on the 4th book, after the 4th book, I think, or maybe midway, I actually started to write fantasy because the author, Christopher Paolini, really inspired me. I actually wrote a letter to him about how much he inspired me to write and I guess do art, because I know he did do the interior art for his books. And I don't know, it just really inspired me because I love doing art too as well, like drawing and painting and sort of that, in that area. And so yeah, he really inspired me. And I did write a letter to him. He actually wrote back. I was super surprised. Like, I was like starstruck when I received his letter. This was when I was in 4th grade, or no, sorry, 5th grade, a long time ago. And yeah, I got his letter back and I was just so excited. I was jumping for joy. And he actually signed his letter, which was even more amazing. He also gave me a picture of himself with another signature on it, which was crazy, and I was just freaking out. He also came up with a coloring book on the series. It's called The Inheritance Cycle again, or the Aragon series, which is, I guess, what most people call it, but the actual name for it is The Inheritance Cycle. It's a wonderful series. You guys should all check it out if you are fantasy dorks like me. So I guess this pretty much concludes our little nodding session with the motivation tips and most of all the book reading and everything. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have to go now, but please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more bracelet content from me in the future. Such as, I guess, more of these videos, tutorials, I guess specials for every 100 subscribers, and everything like that. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!